My General CD Collection Part 25. Ahoy everybody, and welcome to my look at my General CDs, part 25 of Rearrange Those Words into a Sentence. So this is normal CDs, no box sets, no compilations, no soundtracks, no Prince-related CDs, and no signed CDs, because I've already shown you all of those. Let's carry straight on. We have Iggy Pop's The Idiot. I like Iggy Pop. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I like him. I mainly picked this up because Bowie produced and wrote most of it, or co-wrote most of it. It's got Nightclubbing on it, which I already knew from the Trainspotting soundtrack. China Girl, which obviously I knew Bowie's version of. The rest of it I didn't really know. I like this album. I have pre-ordered, which when will this be out? No, I don't think it'll quite be out by the time you see this, but I have pre-ordered the new box set of Iggy's work with Bowie. Back to Ian Dury, who I talked about a fair bit in the last video. This is 10 More Turnips from a Tip. So this was a studio album they were working on. Well, it's a compilation of tracks they were working on up until his death, but sort of through over a 10-year period. It's got one track, he says, that Robbie Williams sings on. I'm sure. I can't see any mention of it. Unless I'm confusing it with something else. Yes, track 10. You're the Why. Robbie Williams does the lead vocal on, but it's Ian's lyrics. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that some of these tracks were tracks that were deemed not good enough for earlier albums, but it's a nice lasting tribute to him. This is another best of. This is Reason to Be Cheerful. This has got... Yeah, it's a 2 CD. There's lots of stuff on this, not just the obvious stuff. And I think it's got some live stuff, is it? Yeah, it's got some live bits on it that aren't on any other releases. Okay, so I was talking about this in the last part. This is Brand New Boots and Panties. So this was a tribute album released a year after he died, 2001. So it is a re-recording of New Boots and Panties by different artists. So Sinead O'Connor does Wake Up and Make Love With Me. That's very good. Robbie Williams does Sweet Jean Vincent, which is my reason for purchase and which I love. Paul McCartney does I'm Partial to Your Abracadabra. That's very good. Madness do an excellent version of My Old Man. Billy Bragg and the Blokes do an excellent version of Billy Ricky Dicky. Reckless Eric does a very good version of Clever Trevor. Cerys Matthews does an excellent version of If I Was With a Woman. Grant Nicholas, who was the lead singer of Feeder, does Blockheads. That's very good. Shane McGowan does Plasto Patricia. Again, very good. And Keith Allen does Blackmail Man, which is okay. But yeah, that's sort of the album that got me into Ian Dury. This is Bus Driver's Prayers and Other Stories. This was a solo album by Ian from 1992. It's good. I say it's not, he definitely did diminish slightly as time went on, but it's still very enjoyable, and his wordplay is always really good. This has got 8 album outtakes on there as well. So I've got most of his albums. Apples I haven't got yet. Might be the only one. Okay, I've previously shown the first anthology. This is Anthology 3 by the Beatles. Anthology 2 is here somewhere as well. This is probably my favourite of the 3 anthology collections. It's when they were interesting and playing around in the studio a lot, so it's not reliant on live recordings or TV appearances. It's alternative versions and Beatles versions of some solo tracks and things like that. So yeah, probably my favourite of the three. I'm a big fan of Dannii Minogue. Not so much her first early stuff, but certainly mid-90s stuff onwards. I think she's underrated. I think she's, much as, you know, I love Kylie, I've got all her stuff, but I do think Dannii was doing a lot of the stuff that Kylie became, sort of rejuvenated Kylie's career before Kylie was doing it, and doesn't get the credit for that. This is the Hits and Beyond. So this is a CD of the hits throughout her career up to 2006, and a DVD with all the videos as well. So sort of half of this is really good and half of it's there. This is Neon Nights, probably her biggest hit album. Put the Needle on It was a big hit. I Begin to Wonder was a big hit. Who Do You Love Now was also a hit. I've also got it's been repackaged a couple of times with bonus tracks, and I've got one of those as well, which I think I've already shown. This was the album that got me into her. This is Girl. This is a great album. All I Want to Do, Everything I Wanted, and Disremembrance were the singles. Yeah, really strong album. So I'm sure she does a cover of Coconut on this, with Harry Nilsson's song. Perhaps that's on something else. Perhaps I'm just imagining the whole thing. Perhaps that's somebody else entirely. Answers on the screen. Moving on to Coldplay. I like Coldplay. I can see why people don't, if that makes sense, but I do. That said, I stopped after Viva La Vida. I might pick up the rest of their stuff. I certainly enjoy them when they come on the radio, but they're not a big favourite band of mine. I've never seen them live. You know, they're not a wow band for me. This is Viva La Vida. Strong album. This is X and Y. This has got Fix You on here, and Talk, and Speed of Sound. I mean, Fix You is just a beautiful song. This is Rush of Blood to the Head, probably my favourite Coldplay album. In My Place, God Put a Smile on Your Face, The Scientist, Clocks, which I adore. Yeah, bit front-loaded. And Parachute's their debut album, really strong. Yellow, Trouble. Shiver, single as well. Okay, from Coldplay to Cliff Richard. This is Summer Holiday. It's a film I've always loved. I've always loved the songs from, so I bought the soundtrack. I have subsequently picked it up on vinyl cheaply as well. Is there anything special about this? Yeah, this has got, as well as the album, it's got an advertising EP over 2 parts, rehearsal takes, alternate takes. Les Girls is The Shadows. Les Girls has got the version from a film, which is different from the soundtrack album version. It's got the opening with the brass band and everything on there, and various other film versions as well. So a nice version of the album. Christina Aguilera, she had a little purple period that I really liked from Dirty for a couple of albums. This is Greatest Hits, keeps getting better, A Decade of Hits, which has got 17 tracks on it, 2 of which are new songs. Genie in a Bottle, What a Girl Wants, Lady Marmalade, Dirty, Fighter, Beautiful, The Voice Within, Ain't No Other Man, Candyman. Genie 2.0 on it, which I think is a reworking of Genie in a Bottle. And this has also got an extra bonus DVD with 10 videos on it as well. But, the 2 proper albums of hers that I own are Back to Basics. This is a 2-disc So this has got Ain't No Other Man on here. Candyman, which is a great track. Isn't it? The second disc is an enhanced one with a video on it as well. And this is the album that I really love. This is Dirty, which has got Fighter, obviously the title track, Beautiful, and A Voice Within as well. Alicia Keys is on here as well at some point, or wrote one of the tracks or something, I remember. I really like Cheryl Cole, or what, Tweedy, Fernandez Vicini, whatever she wants to call herself, Cheryl. I've enjoyed all her solo albums and have them all. You know, I've talked at length about my love for Girls Aloud, and it does carry over to her solo work. This is A Million Lights. So, Call My Name was a single. Under the Sun was, I think. If it's a song I'm thinking of, I love Under the Sun. This is Messy Little Raindrops. So this has got Promise This. What else was a single? Oh, The Flood. Much as I like her albums, I have only listened to them probably once or twice each. And it's remembering, you know, associating song titles with songs is the Brit issue. This is Three Words. This is very good. Parachutes, Fight for This Love, Heartbreaker were definitely all singles. And I have got the fourth album, but I might have already shown that. This is the Chemical Brothers singles 93 to Ovary. I like quite a bit of their stuff. This was worth getting. Block Rockin' Beat, Setting Sun, Hey Boy, Hey Girl, Let Forever Be, and a couple of the other tracks I really like. This is the best of Chas and Dave. Regular viewers will know I love Chas and Dave. I now have all their albums. I have most of them. I have all of them on CD. I have most of them on vinyl as well. Most of them are available. This was the first Chas and Dave I actually owned, apart from their songs with Tottenham Hotspur. It's a nice little compilation. It's one of these music club CDs that only cost, you know, $4.99 back in the days when CDs used to cost 15 quid. You know, it's got most of what you would want on here. Rabbit, Sideboard Song, Gertrude, in Sickness and in Health, Ain't No Pleasing You. It's got the Stars Over 45 medley, Margate, Snooker Loopy, London Girls. You know, there's sort of well-known songs. I'd say that, you know, it was through owning that made me really appreciate them. On to Cerys Matthews. Most of our albums I have signed copies of, and I've already shown those. There's a couple that I haven't got signed. This is Never Said Goodbye. All her albums I really love. I mean, I just adore her voice anyway. Most of her albums aren't particularly Catatonia-y. They're more folky, bluesy, rootsy even. But yeah, all really strong. The other one that isn't signed is Cock a Hoop, which was her first album, I think, which has got the song Chardonnay, which she did sing when she was in the jungle, so you might recognise that if you heard it. And it's a song that always, when I'm filling up with the wine at work, and I'm thinking, right, I need a bottle of Chardonnay, Chardonnay, and start singing it to myself. This is CeeLo Green's The Lady Killer. Very good album. It's got Forget You, and it's got the original version Fuck You on here as well. Cry Baby was a hit as well. And then this is the bonus version, or the reissue. You know, they went for a spate of an album would come out, and then 3 or 4 months later they'd bring it out again with 2 extra tracks on it. Whatever. This is the 2 extra tracks version. And Anyway was a single from that. There's 5 massive hits. Bright Lights, Bigger City, Forget You, Cry Baby. Don't know what the other 2 massive hits were, I can't remember. But yeah, it's a good album, that. It's the Platinum Edition, they call that. Okay, that'll do for this part. 1 or 2 more parts and then this set of shells is all done. Hurrah! Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.